Howdy, I'm Andrew Ballard, and I was tasked with giving y'all an informative speech about my favorite invention. That invention is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And it is a video game created by Nintendo, but more importantly, specifically, created by a guy named Shigeru Miyamoto. And Shigeru Miyamoto, in my opinion, is one of the greatest inventors of all time, one of the greatest creators of all time. As widely viewed as the father of gaming, as we see on successstory.com, he is a guy that we should all care about, all of us that care about video games, that play video games, because he basically, like he says, the father of gaming, started modern gaming, and because of him, it is where it is today, right? So let's talk about Shigeru Miyamoto a little bit. So he grew up in Japan. Obviously, you can tell by his name, he's not from America. He's not an American inventor. So he grew up in the countryside of Japan, where as a kid, he talks openly and often about his adventures as a kid, running through the countryside, exploring the woods. And I think that fostered into his creative mindset that he has today, and it's also played a large role in the types of games he makes. Also, Shigeru Miyamoto, early on, did not face a lot of success, did not experience a lot of success. He experienced many failures as a creator and as a programmer early on in Nintendo's history, but eventually he was able to strike gold with Donkey Kong, one of the very first arcade games and the thing that launched Nintendo into the gaming powerhouse it is today. Now his invention, the one we're focusing on, Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, is a very important game and is widely viewed as the greatest game of all time. Metacritic.com gives it a rating of 99, which Metacritic is a conglomerate of every review, rating website and agency, and the fact that they all come together, average out, and they're at 99 shows that Ocarina of Time is widely viewed as the greatest game of all time. There's not a lot of arguments to be made there. Also, personally, I've played Ocarina of Time probably more than I've ever played any other game combined, and I can say that I also believe it is the greatest game of all time. It is also widely influenced other games. Tom Hoggins writes how it is the first 3D adventure game. Ocarina of Time was the first real 3D adventure game. Because of Ocarina of Time, their 3D adventure games are now one of the most popular franchises. You have games like Skyrim, which took the world by storm a few years ago and is still one of the most popular games ever made. Without Ocarina of Time, Skyrim ceases to exist. Another popular game that has come around early is Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation 4. That's another game that is heavily influenced by the mechanics and the adventure elements that are so prevalent in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Without Ocarina of Time, we would not have the games we have today. It is so important. So why should we care about Shigeru Miyamoto? Why should he inspire us? One, because he's creative. He has shown time and time again that he is one of the most creative inventors, creators that has ever lived. A lot of that comes from his adventures as a childhood, running through the forest, observing the world around him in the Japanese countryside. And we see through franchises like Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby, things that seem so crazy that someone would just think of on their own, but Miyamoto did. Secondly, he's a great example of someone who has pressed on through failure. Early on in his career, we talked about how he did not experience a lot of success. The games he made were not critically acclaimed, were not widely loved by the public, obviously, until he made the Donkey Kong arcade game, which Nintendo faced a lot of success through that and found their footing and now are what they are today. Overall, Shigeru Miyamoto is, like we said, the father of gaming. He shaped the landscape of what games are today, and without him, we would not be where we are today. We would not have the popular AAA titles that we have today that so many millions of people enjoy and play. Also, on the topic of Ocarina of Time, if you have not experienced that game, if you have not experienced that time, that story, I would widely encourage y'all to take a look at it, play the game, and experience what is widely viewed as Miyamoto's crowning achievement. So I thank y'all for y'all's time today, and I hope that you now have an appreciation for Shigeru Miyamoto much like I do. Thank you.